I don't even know why John Delaney is running for president. Because he's full of shit. He loves to lie about what Bernie Sanders says. And he's just dumb. He's just flat out a stupid idiot. So his main thing now, I guess the only way he's realized, here's the best part too. This fucking idiot's been in case none of you even know who he is to begin with anyway, and so I'm sure you don't realize also, he's been in this since the beginning, like way back. Like Trump won, he gets inaugurated, and I'm almost certain, like, well, maybe not that far back, but it seems like it. He's been announced he's running for president, I think, just right after the midterm elections. So well before anybody who even had a shot in hell of winning this thing, he's already been announced. Already, long time. What has that done for you? Nothing. No one even knows your name, idiot. So, in addition to being the guy on the first night of debates who just wouldn't fucking shut his ass up when he wasn't his fucking turn. Now, again, you're not supposed to just sit around and just wait for your time, because if you do that, you'll become Andrew Yang. And if you haven't noticed, that guy just completely got fucking forgot about. So, aside from going around saying just flat out the bullshit statement or sentence, I've got the best ideas, which literally you go, John, did you hear this fucking thing? Okay. So aside from saying that stupid sentence, which we know, no, he doesn't. He goes on. I guess somebody in his campaign was like, look, the only way you're going to ever have a chance of climbing the ladder here is you got to take on somebody at the top. And his choice was Bernie Sanders, which, okay, fine. All right, you want to go against his, rabid base of support? Okay. But look, here's the thing, dickhead. Now, all right, even if you were to tell the truth and to shit on Bernie Sanders in a way which, makes sense, which there's a few things, as much as I'm a supporter, I mean, I've said it a million times now, that's my guy. I'm guaranteed 110% behind Bernie Sanders. There's some things you can actually, get him on. His support for Israel being pretty, it's kind of higher than you'd like for it to be. He doesn't support the BDS movement, which is, the way to boycott, divest from Israeli companies and sanction them for what they're doing to the Palestinian people. He doesn't support that. I wish he would. That's some way in which you can truthfully and in something that's fact-based, attack him on. So he's not going to go that route. So the only thing he has, if he's going to actually go for Bernie Sanders, is to lie. And so his lie is to say that, the private insurance under Bernie Sanders' plan is to be made illegal. Now, the problem ends up being fucking Bernie. Sometimes he's not perfect. He'll end up saying something along those lines where he's like, yeah, actually, it should be me. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily come from him just putting it out that way. Like, he doesn't just say flat out that stuff just unprompted. It usually comes from a bullshit loaded question from the media and the framing of a right wing fucking, situation where they're like, do you want to make something illegal? What about making it illegal? The different ways they'll say it. And he'll just be like, yeah, whatever. And, kind of in a lazy way. And you're like, don't do that. So the reality is Bernie Sanders doesn't want to make it illegal. He just wants to ensure that any plan on the private market that goes in competition with Medicare for All is going to actually offer above and beyond what Medicare for All offers. Because think about it. If you're somebody out there and you got Medicare for All, which, by the way, covers all kinds of shit. It's not just, the cheapest plan that like there is now today in the private insurance industry where it gives you crap with the highest deductibles, $50 to $100 co-pays, outrageously high premiums, all that different stuff that it doesn't cover, dental, vision, you name it. Medicare for All covers virtually everything and doesn't have co-pays and high deductibles, and the premiums aren't fucking outrageous. So what's going to happen is once you have Medicare for All, you don't want. How would you feel if you then said, well, let me have something that's supplemental or that supplements Medicare for All for any of the small amount of things that it doesn't cover, but then found out that you're paying money for this supplemental insurance and it doesn't really do what it says. It just basically copies whatever you're paying for Medicare for All and just goes, yeah, there you go, supplemental. And you're basically getting ripped off. Yeah. That kind of situation should be made illegal. It's not all private insurance at this point becomes illegal. It just means the ones that don't offer you anything above and beyond what Medicare for All offers, go away. We don't need you anymore.
Because I have the best ideas. I have a very different perspective. I have a very different background. I'm the only one who actually ran something, created jobs, and I've got kind of common sense solutions for how we move forward. So, to me, what this debate is really about is who actually has real solutions versus who is laying out kind of impossible promises or doesn't have any plans. So, I'm fine, whatever stage I'm on, who's ever on the stage with me, I'm just going to talk about...
But there's got to be certain names that you want to be on that stage with to really stand out. There's got to be some. Because at the end of the day, it is a political game, whether you want to admit it or not.
Well, I have a big contrast going on right now with Senator Sanders.
Right.
About the best way forward for universal health care. I have a plan called Better Care, which gives every American health care as a basic right. They get a basic health care package for free. But what it doesn't do is make private insurance illegal, because I don't think it's smart to tell 150 million Americans who have private insurance that they got to drop that and get a new plan, which would also tell 2 million Americans overnight that they're out of a job, and as the New York Times reported, would lead to lots of hospitals in this country closing. Mm-hmm. The Medicare for All plan also achieves universal health care, like my Better Care plan, but it does, in fact, make private insurance legal.
But, of course, piece of shit fucking moron John Delaney is going to... His only hope, since he's a bought and paid for shill for these insurance and drug companies, is to say how, no, he wants to make it illegal. Which, on another basis altogether... Goddamn, I wish Bernie Sanders, and maybe he's in the process of doing this, hopefully. He needs to go around to different people throughout this country, with his vast email address list. Throw out the question to people who are getting these emails. Say, hey, any of you out there, we'd love to hear your story about how the private insurance world and the pharmaceutical industry has basically fucked you in the ass for God knows how many years. Could you do, and gather up all those different stories from all those different people and then put it out there as a big video or a series of videos where they're like, you get people on camera that are going to be like, hi, I'm so-and-so from wherever. And yeah, man, I'd like to tell you about the time that Aetna just totally screwed me over when it came to my hernia operation. Or, I'm so-and-so from somewhere. And I'd like to tell you about the time when United just completely told me to go fuck myself when it came to my cancer treatments. And there's probably numerous times like that where private industry has screwed people over. So nobody, and it's amazing how, because if you don't have that as the background or that kind of context, people are like, well, hey, what I have now, which is the only thing they know about, which is a private industry plan. And that's the other thing that John Delaney and all these other assholes are telling you, that if Medicare comes into effect, well, you're getting kicked off of your plan. When it's like, no, asshole, you're going to be transitioned to a better plan, something that covers you far better than anything you've ever, had before, unless you're super rich. Those are the only people, or unless you work for a giant, Fortune 100 corporation. That those are the only ways in which you will have a plan that's far better than anything Medicare for All can possibly provide. So, and why are we worried about those people? You're worried about super rich and, a small percentage of the workforce that works for these, top 100 corporations. Fuck them. I mean, not necessarily fuck the people in all the ways or, don't care what they think. But guess what? If they object, that's this much of a percentage of the population versus this much of the population that desperately needs good health care. So in that respect, we're just like, hey, yeah, well, sorry to hear that, but we're going the way of Medicare for all. It's the way it is. So plenty of interview. The only I'm sitting here mumbling now. The only good thing about John Delaney, even though he's not getting challenged by these people, the only good thing about this is that no one cares about him. He'll fuck himself up. And hopefully Bernie will get the message out a lot better about Medicare for all. Because that's something we desperately need. Desperately. And we can't let fucking piece of shit shills like John Delaney kill any hope that we have of getting genuine Medicare for all. If we keep going down the incremental bullshit road that we're doing with healthcare, we're going to invite a worse Donald Trump in the next few years. So the guy's... And here's another thing, too. He said in the same interview, he's like, Nancy Pelosi is so wonderful. She's so smart. She knows exactly what she's doing.
I'm a big Nancy Pelosi fan, so I'll start with that. I think she's one of the most impressive people that I've actually ever met in my life. And I really do. And I think she's handling her position extremely well. In many ways, she's the only person protecting our democracy. I think what a lot of us running for president should be doing is supporting Speaker Pelosi. And I think she's handling the job very well. And I think the border bill was a huge success. I think it was absolutely a huge success.
That right there means you're canceled. Bye-bye, John Delaney. You're fucking stupid. Get out of here. Oh, God. Imagine someone, especially after the stuff that she's done lately, saying that she's a fucking genius and knows exactly what... Yeah, you don't know shit. So drop out. Stop wasting people's time and money. You're an idiot who doesn't know a goddamn thing. Bye-bye, John Delaney. Go fuck yourself.